here.
Oh, you're streaming. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yes, folks. Yes, folks. Here we go. Let's see how we're going. How's it going?
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending the Republican National Convention 2000 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Please stand for the national anthem. Please stand and salute for the national anthem. Yo, Tricky Ricky, if you could play the national anthem, that'd be very fantastic. Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you, thank you. Now welcoming the chairman of the Republican National Convention, Donnie Drake.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here in the great state of Pennsylvania, in the great Commonwealth of Plymouth, united as conservative Americans, conservative Republicans who believe in one great thing: America. At the dawn of the millennia, here we are, united under the Star-Spangled Banner. What a beauty it was to hear our national anthem. America, the beautiful, standing strong since 1776. Greatest nation on planet Earth. Great nation, not a nation without its flaws. But our dream and our hope as a Republican Party is that those flaws can be eradicated. that we, as a strong and united party, will fight against any ideas that are brought up to destroy our great Constitution. Our First Amendment right is what allows us to be together like this. And our Second Amendment right is what is protecting us right outside those doors. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome you to the 2000 Republican National Convention. And I hereby declare this convention open. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Chairman. Now welcoming up onto the stage will be Representative Eisenhower's speech, delivered by Richard Nixon.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me. Technically an independent, but probably very, very conservative. Honestly, only an independent for filing purposes. I will now be reading Representative Eisenhower's speech. Boy, it's a doozy. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Republicans, distinguished guests here in Philadelphia. It's a great honor as an RNC board member to be here in front of you all, here in person, and at those viewing it on TV and radio. I'm honored to announce that new millennium is a new era for the Republican Party. This grand old party will continue its mission since 1854 to restore freedom and provide safety to citizens of the United States of America, and continue the legacies of our Republican forebears and the founding fathers, a nation in which the liberty rules supreme and rights of the people rule over all. Our founding father, Alexander Hamilton, once said, "The sacred rights of mankind are not to be rummaged for among the whole volume of human literature by the hand of the divinity itself, that can never be erased." These words, along with Thomas Jefferson, all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, truly summarize the goals of the Republican Party for the next century. Let's have a round of applause for this party's nominee, Senator George Nixon, and his running mate, Senator George Reagan. Insert clapping here. These men will lead the Republican Party to victory in an election which paves the way for a new America, in which all Americans will prosper. We will make sure our rights and our foreign policy will help us defend, along with more growth for new jobs. We are in a new America, a Nixon and Reagan America, which will lead us to great heights. America has always been different from all other countries around. We have allowed businesses to flourish, and we have seen great, unparalleled business and economic expansion throughout our history. Less than 225 years ago, we were just farmers with little to no industry and economic might. Since then, we have surged far greater and expanded far past any country ever. The reason for this expansion is that our government helped our businesses. We must make sure the government helps expand business for the greater good of America. America expanding the freedom of business has shown this to be the way for us to prosper as people and a country. Small and local businesses are essential to us as are medium and large businesses. And to ensure small business can prosper and expand, this party will work to get tax cuts passed for our small businesses so that they can continue to flourish.
All right. Thank you. Uh, wait by. Please stand by while we get prepared for the next speech of tonight. Now welcoming up onto the stage, Chairman Donnie Drake, who will be reading Governor of Plymouth's RNC speech. Governor Donald Trump of Plymouth.
Right. Fellow Republicans, as the governor of where this convention is being held, welcome. Today, we should support George Nixon and George Reagan. They are not your average politician. They're both fighting for the people of this country. It is critical for us to flip not only the White House red come November 7th, but Congress so that we can protect our rights, lower taxes for the people, and put the United States of America first. If Nixon is elected, our country will achieve great achievements. Believe me, folks, it is the grace of God that we shall make our country great again with Nixon and Reagan. We need them more than ever. Thank you all, and God bless America.
Thank you for that, Mr. Chairman. Now we begin the keynote speech, to be delivered by Governor David Long Jr. of Yellowstone. Please stand by while we are experiencing technical difficulties. Rick, it's the second song on the playlist.
Bruh.
Oh my, this is silly. Rick, it's the second song. It's the second song on the playlist.
Yeah, I know. It went from 1 to 3.
What? Well, now announcing the keynote speaker of the Republican National Convention, Governor David Long Jr. of Yellowstone. Thank you, and thank you, Philadelphia, for having us here tonight. The Republican Party is convened here in Philadelphia to nominate their candidate for President and Vice President of the United States. But let us not forget that 224 years ago, the Continental Congress convened in this very city, not too far from where we're here tonight, to declare independence from the British Empire, but not out of selfish motives, not out of vain motives, but out of principle. Principle that was expressed by the first Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, when he said that we established a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. The grand old party's purpose here tonight is exactly what Abraham Lincoln said in those words. But the American people are getting fed up with 8 years of unfair trade deals, outsourcing jobs to Mexico and China. 8 years of a Democratic administration hinting about cuts to Medicare and Social Security. 8 years of a Democratic administration launching overseas after overseas military adventures that have reaped no benefits for the American people. And 8 years of inactivity from Democratic state governments. Quite frankly, the American people are fed up. But let us not be pessimistic. This is the Millennium Dawn. This is the start of a new millennium. Let's start it off right. Competent and active leadership is what America needs. Like what I have delivered in Yellowstone. That's exactly what we need in Washington, D.C. That's why I'm endorsing George Nixon for president and George Reagan for vice president. And with this message, with this agenda, and with these principles, I'm confident that George Nixon will win. Tonight, I see the face of a child. He lives in a great city. He is black, or he is white. He is Mexican, Italian, Polish. None of that matters. What matters? He's an American child. That child in that great city is more important than any politician's promise. He is America. He is a poet. He is a scientist. He is a great teacher. He is a proud craftsman. He is everything we ever hoped to be and everything we dare to dream to be. He sleeps the sleep of childhood and dreams the dreams of a child. And yet when he awakens to a living nightmare of poverty, neglect, and despair. He fails in school. He ends up on welfare. For him, the American system is one that feeds his stomach and starves his soul. It breaks his heart. And in the end, it may take his life on some distant battlefield. To millions of children in this rich land, this is the prospect of their future. But that is only part of what I see in America. I see another child tonight. He hears the train go by at night and dreams of faraway places where he'd like to go. But it seems like an impossible dream. But he's helped on his journey through life. His parents were immigrants from the Netherlands. His father had to work long hours as a plumber and a car mechanic and sacrificed everything so he could put his sons through college. His mother, a member of the Dutch Reformed faith, worked hard as a nurse so she could also contribute to her son's future. A great teacher, a remarkable football coach, and an inspirational Roman Catholic priest also encouraged him on his way. A courageous wife and loyal children stood by him in victory and also defeat. In his chosen profession of politics, first there were scores, then hundreds, then thousands, and finally millions worked for his success. And tonight, he will stand before you, nominated for President of the United States. You can see why I so strongly support George Nixon for President of the United States. My fellow Americans, most importantly, George Nixon is going to win because his cause is right. We make history tonight, not only for ourselves, but for the ages. The choice we make in 2000 determines not only the future of America, but the future of peace and freedom in the 21st century. Thank you, Philadelphia. Remember to vote Republican this election day, and God bless America. Daryl, please respond to DMs.
Alright, do you want to reply for that?
Yeah, if you could play the next song. Hold on, let me say something. Yeah, play the next song.
حصريا على موقع مهرجانات دوت كوم.
Okay, that concludes the Republican National Convention 2000. Thank you all for attending, and have a great night. And remember, vote Republican this election day. Oh, wait, forget everything I just said. No. Ricky, come back. We still gotta read Nixon's speech.
Forget everything he just said.
No, Wheeler! How are you even talking? You're not even on the stage. How did that even work? Ricky, come back. Okay. I did a little trolling. Let me find a speech that I was asked to read. If I can find it. You know, if people could just join VCs themselves, this issue wouldn't happen. I don't know why you guys like this is Discord and y'all can't VC. I don't get it. This has to be the only server that we have this issue in, but okay. Freak, man. Where is it pinned? Found it. Okay. George Nixon's presidential nomination speech will be read by Governor David Long, Jr. of Yellowstone. Thank you very much. I am more than honored to stand here at the Republican National Convention here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the birth of our republic. The RNC which has a span throughout 144 years and ranging through many different nominees, is nothing but truly historical. Before I kick my convention speech off, I want to give love towards my beautiful mother, Roberta Nixon, and my wife, Cindy Nixon. They are the joy and love of my life. Without them, I don't know if I would stand here today. So, I ask for you all to give them a massive round of applause for their contributions towards my campaign. Now let's get to the center point of this speech, shall we? America has been built on the foundations of liberty and freedom. These values, written and supported by our founding fathers, remain true to this day. But folks, even with these two important values remaining true, there is one thing that is not necessarily true anymore. I'm talking about the American dream. The American dream was once a dream of an individual climbing the ladder and making something of themselves. Now it's a phrase which you only believe when you're asleep in your bed. So, my friends, to turn dreams into reality, I am more than proud to accept the Republican Party's nomination for the presidency. Now, friends, this campaign will be a long and rigorous one. Those against us will doubt us, but we are Republicans. We are the party of Abraham Lincoln, the party of Ronald Reagan, and the party of many other great Americans. We must stand united behind the principles and values which have been established and kept for generations and generations. My Vice President George Reagan also supports these ideas and principles which keep us strong and united. He is a strong-witted man and a courageous leader who I trust in leading the United States Senate with utmost integrity. Let me also add the fact, a major factor of me choosing him would be because we could be the GG duo. Gotta give all the fantastic Georges in the world some respect. I'm hopeful that my campaign resonates with you all, and that it could make a difference in your lives. Hopefully, I'm releasing a campaign platform soon enough for patriots of America who support my campaign and want to see my agenda once I get to the Oval Office. I appreciate all of you for supporting this campaign, and to all the speakers before me, I have to say you guys were great. This November, let's make history happen and make America into a better place. God bless the United States of America, and let's win this, folks.
Is that all?
No. Now welcoming Donnie Drake, chairman of the Republican National Convention, to read the vice presidential nominees, George Reagan's acceptance speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Republicans, and distinguished guests, standing here outside of Independence Hall in Philadelphia gives me a truly powerful and inspiring sense of patriotism. The feeling is a struggle to describe in words. To stand here at the birthplace of the Republic, the site where the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution were signed, the moment of when the American experiment began and our founding fathers rejected the tyranny from the British Crown, the moment we as a people, rejected the idea of a monarchy. But I am just as deeply honored to accept the nomination to be the Vice President of the United States of America, alongside our great presidential candidate, George Nixon. As a proud native of Illinois, I have witnessed and experienced firsthand the negative effects of Democrat policies in our state. I've watched as excessive taxation and overbearing regulations have stifled economic growth and job creation, causing businesses to leave our state and families to struggle to make ends meet. I have seen the Second Amendment rights of the Illinois residents being restricted, creating difficulties for their ability to defend themselves from those who mean harm. But today, we have a chance to prevent that from spreading to a national level. As we enter the new millennia, and both Senator Nixon and I are ready to do our part to make it happen. This historic site symbolizes the freedom and opportunities that America stands for, and it reminds us of the great responsibility we have to uphold these values. We must focus on cutting government spending and lowering taxes to stimulate economic growth and job creation. We need to ensure that small businesses, the backbone of the American economy, have the opportunity to thrive and succeed. We must work to make sure that our hardworking American families can keep more of their hard-earned money in their pockets rather than being taxed to death. This will help to strengthen our economy and provide greater opportunities for all Americans. Our founding fathers enshrined the right to bear arms in the Second Amendment, and this right remains an integral part of our Constitution. We must protect and defend the right of law-abiding Americans to own guns and use them for self-defense, sport, and hunting. At the same time, we must also ensure that we have sensible gun laws that keep guns out of the hands of criminals and those who would do us harm. So true. We must balance the rights of gun owners with the rights of our communities. At the same time, we need to maintain a strong and effective foreign policy. So true. That prioritizes diplomacy and cooperation with our allies around the world. We cannot afford to isolate ourselves from the rest of the world, nor can we afford to engage in endless wars that only serve to drain our resources, hurt our economy, and only benefit the few defense contractors who engage in war profiteering. We need to work with our partners to find solutions to the challenges that we face. We need to do so in a way that promotes peace and stability worldwide. No longer will young Americans die on the beaches, or in the jungles, or in the desert, or on the mountains, or in the streets of foreign cities for the political gain of those in Washington. Finally, we must expand Medicaid to ensure that every American has access to health care that they need. No one should be forced to choose between putting food on the table and getting the medical care that they need. And we must do everything in our power to ensure that all Americans have access to affordable and high-quality health care. So let us come together as one nation, under God, and work together to build a brighter and better future for all Americans. I'm honored and I'm humbled by this nomination. George Nixon and I pledge to work tirelessly to ensure that our country remains strong, prosperous, and free. Thank you, and God bless the United States of America.
One second. Donnie, if you could check DMs. Donnie, please check DMs, and also you're muted.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for the first half of the Republican National Convention. We will now be adjourning for 10 minutes. Please join us again at 10:45 p.m. for the next half of the Republican National Convention.
Ricky, if you could check your DMs. Ricky, if you could get Gucci down to the socks.